Good morning, and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to our Sunday celebration, and we're going to do a meditation. My name is Margie Sammons. I'm a practitioner here, and I am honored to be bringing you a meditation this morning. So just take a moment to breathe deeply and relax, and allow the thoughts in your mind to float away. They are not important. They have no substance. Allow them to dissolve into nothingness. And just breathe in and breathe out. Become aware of your own rhythm. And then just relax into that rhythm, allowing each breath to fill you, to relax you, to bring you into calmness. And now in this sacred time, I invite you to join me on a voyage to the essence of who you are. So as you breathe into your own rhythm, sink deeply into your core and look for the faint glimmer of light that glows there. Like an ember from a fire, slowly it burns and glows. It is deep within your core. And feel the warmth of this ember burning deep within you. As you acknowledge this ember, it glows brighter. It grows larger, filling your heart space with a pulsating warm glow. And you remember, you know this ember now growing brighter, a golden light filling your being. And as you feel its warmth radiating within you, you know this is a flame from a never-ending fire, ignited from source eternal. This flame burns even brighter, radiating in you, through you, and around you. This is the light of spirit, the light of love, of compassion, of happiness, the light of joy. It is the essence of who you are. And it is the essence of who every person is. This light fills your entire being with the presence of Source Eternal, never ending, never wavering, never diminishing. In this sacred journey, I invite you to take this light, the light of love, compassion, happiness, joy, out into the world and shine. Share this source energy with the world, with the universe, and with each and every being experiencing the wholeness of spirit. Remember that you are one with God. The wholeness of spirit in the universe ties us all together at our very core. We are all born from source, never ending, existing as spiritual lights for time eternal. Now, as you return from this journey, slowly bring your light, shining so brightly, back into this earthly plane, back into your room, and back into your heart space. And know that this light is never gone. It is always ablaze within you. The love, compassion, happiness, and joy that is spirit burns brightly within you and is the connection with all. So as you come back from this journey of light, and when you are grounded again, join us and shine as the light that you are. Namaste.
Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you, Tony Bernardi. That was amazing. My name is Ann Strayer and I am a licensed religious science practitioner, and it's my privilege to be giving you the announcements today. But first, I would like to invite all of you joining us on Zoom to turn on your video so we can see all of the beautiful faces of God. And if you're joining us on YouTube, say hello in the comments, in the little chat section. Say hello. So now for today's announcements. Due to the current pandemic, everyone is invited to join us on Zoom for our Sunday celebration. And it will be live streamed on our YouTube channel at Columbus CSL. And then later today, we will be posting it to our Facebook page. And you are also invited to share our YouTube channel on your Facebook page for your friends and family. Today, everyone is invited to join Reverend Gregory Toole for our community meeting from 12 to 2 on Zoom. We will be visioning on Spirit's highest idea for our new senior minister. The Columbus CSL Search Committee will be joining us as well to let you know what the search process is about, and you can meet the search committee members. We will use the same exact link for this meeting as we did for today's Sunday celebration. You can find the link in your recent CCSL Weekly Word e-newsletter, or contact the office to see the link on the slide provided now. And there it is, right there. Our 2021 pledge campaign has officially begun. Thank you so much to those of you who have already returned your pledge card. Our 2021 pledge campaign goal is $100,000. And so far, we have reached $45,868. Please make sure you return your pledge card before December 1st, 2020. And if you haven't received a pledge card yet, please contact the office, Robin at spirituallivingcolumbus.org, and we would be happy to mail you a pledge packet, or we can send it to you electronically as well. And thank you so much, all of you, for your continued support of the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. We appreciate you. And a huge thank you to everyone that joined this past Friday for our Open Hearts Open Mic event. Be sure to mark your calendar for the next Open Hearts Open Mic, which will take place on Friday, December 11th from 7 to 9 on Zoom. Watch your upcoming CCSL Weekly Word newsletter for the Zoom link. You can also find the link on our Facebook page. And would you please share your talents with us at an upcoming Open Hearts Open Mic by contacting Jim Hetzer at JAHETZER@sbcglobal.net. The 2021 spiritual journals are now available for purchase. They are gorgeous. It's just $14.95 plus shipping and handling. And to order your journal, simply go to csl.org, and at the top of the homepage, click on Shop, and it will direct you to make your purchase. You are the face of God. Are you tired of not seeing your friends and family during this pandemic? Help us share shining smiles, sparkling eyes, and community face, mask or no mask, in our Sunday celebration. We are collecting pictures of CCSL community members, supporters, new visitors, guests, and friends to share in our virtual Sunday service. Please send us a picture of yourself and let us see you and what you're up to during these unique times. Show us your favorite mask, your pets, your garden, your COVID project, what you're doing, or whatever you want to share. Simply send your pictures to robin@spirituallivingcolumbus.org so we can share the faces of God in our virtual Sunday celebration. And if you would like prayer after service or anytime throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website at columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our website. That's the news for today. Let's all sing our opening song.
Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. Speak your mind. Show them who you really are. Show them you're a shining star, a brilliant light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. Open up and be yourself and shine that light. Open up and free yourself and shine that light.
Yes, shine that light. Thank you, Carissa. And good morning, everyone, and welcome. As we know, Columbus Center for Spiritual Living is an open, inclusive community where we embrace you just as you are, just who you are, because we know that you are a unique emanation and expression of the divine, and nothing less than that. You are the fullness of God and expression uniquely as you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us this morning on Zoom, as well as those on the YouTube channel at Columbus CSL. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do so. Like with me, with my subscription, every time the service comes on, even when I'm not the speaker, I get a message in the morning, early for me, at 7 in the morning, I get a message saying Columbus Center for Spiritual Living is live. So join our YouTube channel, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, and we'd love to have you join us. And also, a recording of the service today will also be on our Facebook page. So let us read our mission statement together. Let us remember who we are as it comes up on the screen. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. I'd like to thank our practitioner, Margie Salmons, for a beautiful meditation this morning, as well as for holding the virtual High Watch, as well as for putting together that beautiful slideshow of our community, the Faces of God, that I hope you all caught this morning during between the meditation and the start of the service. And if you didn't, watch the recording or come back next week. I'm sure we'll put it back up there again next week. I'd also like to now bring back our beautiful practitioner, wonderful practitioner, Ann Strayer, who is our platform practitioner today. Take it away, Ann.
Thank you, Reverend Gregory. And now we begin our sacred service. I would like to introduce our community member, Linda Coate, who will be giving us the reading this morning. Linda?
Good morning. From the book Beyond Religion, Ethics for a Whole World by His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. In our quest for happiness and the avoidance of suffering, we are all fundamentally the same and therefore equal. This is an important point, for if we can integrate an appreciation of this fundamental human equality into our everyday outlook, I am very confident that it will be of immense benefit, not only to society at large, but also to us as individuals. For myself, whenever I meet people, whether they are presidents or beggars, whether dark or fair, short or tall, rich or poor, from this nation or that, of this faith or that, I try to relate to them simply as human beings who, like me, seek happiness and wish to avoid suffering. Adopting this perspective, I find, generates a natural feeling of closeness, even with those who until that moment were complete strangers to me. Despite all our individual characteristics, no matter what education we may have or what social rank we may have inherited, and irrespective of what we may have achieved in our lives, we all seek to find happiness and to avoid suffering during this short life of ours.
Thank you, Linda. And now let the music take us within. law here and now. How good it is to open our hearts and our minds to the divine, the one power and presence that I call God. And how good is it to be engaged with God as an individual and as a community and as a nation and as a world. For there is no separation. It is all God right here and right now. And today I speak a word of prosperous health and well-being for each individual and the world. I speak a word of blessing, knowing that there is only one, and this one power and presence is always with us, engaged as us and through us. And I know that today is filled with the divine blessings in each and every breath. No matter where we are and no matter how we're feeling, I just breathe into that heart space knowing that the divine is right here and right now with me always. And I give great thanks that this power and presence is available in its unlimited, abundant availability. I give great thanks that each and every individual is connected to this source, and that my words are already heard in the one mind and they are already acted upon. So I release this prayer with a loving heart into the law that always says yes. And so it is.
And now we'll hear from Gabrielle Solange.
Hi there. Can you guys hear me and see me? Okay. All right. So the first song is Slow Old Hymn, and it's Well With My Soul. I actually had recently got COVID, and so my body was going through a lot, and then there was a lot of fear and anxiety just from the idea of the COVID, the big plague. You know, it's coming. Within the first few days, I couldn't sleep, and so it was really important for my immune system for me to rest. And a friend was able to send me just Bible verses and prayers, and he spoke life over me and sung to me. And I had done a study where I realized there's a study that says in Frankfurt, Germany, that said that when you sing for an hour, antibodies are released. So whenever I felt a symptom, I began to sing over myself. I began to even tune in on YouTube to healing testimonies, and I saw an immediate shift in my body. And so I want to sing that to you guys. Just a reminder that we have so much power over our own body and our circumstances through our life and our soul. When peace like a river attended my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my life thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. My sin knows my sin not in part is nailed to the cross, and I bear it no more. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. It is well. It is well. It is well. It is well with my soul. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gabrielle Solange. Beautiful song, and good morning again. I am Reverend Gregory Toole, your interim minister, and how good it is to be in community, even though it's virtual right now. And even when the technology doesn't totally cooperate, it's still good because we feel each other, we're present to each other. And wow, today's talk is really about oneness. And wow, what a demonstration of oneness our virtual community is, right? That we feel each other, we still feel that connection, and we can still be with each other, even in a time where we're not physically seeing each other that often. I love the slideshow that Margie and I think Robin was involved in putting that together as well. And that was right in between the meditation and the service today. So check that out if you haven't seen it. It was beautiful representation of a lot of the faces of the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. And of course, we would love to be meeting in person. You know, of course, we would love that. And yet the conditions in our world right now make it prudent and pragmatic to do things virtually still, but we are monitoring that, and we are considering for 2021 whether we might be able to meet in person, even if it's just once a month. But we are also, looking after the health and well-being of all of us in our community. And beauty of the Science of Mind teaching is we don't separate the practical and the scientific and the medical from the spiritual, because we know God is all there is, and God is in all of that, and the information that comes from the scientists and that comes from the medical field is also divinely inspired. So we don't separate all of that out, and we listen in, and we trust, and we know what is good for us. And so that's what we're doing here, and we're not in fear at all. I know I am not in fear, and I've not seen anyone else in fear. However, we are being wise. We are listening into Spirit's wisdom about what is the highest road for us to take right now. So I really appreciate that everyone is staying with us here virtually, because in oneness, we really are still connected, and we really are still can feel each other even, and feel each other's energy. And so today's talk is, how engaged is God as us? And my simple, very quick answer is, God is like totally full on engaged with us. I mean, that is just the reality. Like, God is like just, sending forth all kinds of love and ideas and inspiration to us and through us at all times. We're like this conduit. We're like this center of God consciousness. That's what we really are. That's what you really are. No matter how you define yourself, oh, I'm lazy, I can't do this and I can't do that, or I can do this, or I'm only good at this but not good at that. However we define ourselves, we're like this conduit for the infinite presence of the divine to express itself and to delight in itself as you, right? The divine is delighting in itself as you. It gets to dance and play and express creatively as you and as me. And so that's who we truly are. And in that, we're totally connected. Like when someone asked me, so what is the science of mind? Like, a lot of people still haven't heard of science of mind out there in the world beyond Centers for Spiritual Living. And so, for me, it's always that awkward question when people say, so what do you do when I'm out in a social setting? And it's like, okay, which answer do I give them? The answer that will lead to lots more questions, or, how simple can I keep this? And usually it just kind of goes down that path. And so when people say, so what is science of mind? What is your teaching? What is your philosophy? My very first go-to is that the central core teaching is oneness, that God is all there is, and that Spirit, divine Spirit, is in and through and as all that is. So our very life and being is divine. Everything is sacred. There's a song called Everything is Holy Now. It's kind of a beautiful song where it kind of takes away all that traditional view of God as separate and us as sinners and bad and whatever, and kind of brings it into everything is holy now. Everything is sacred. Everything we do, everything we be, everyone we meet is holy. This teaching of oneness, however, is much easier in theory and concept than it is in practice. Because often in practice, we don't practice it at all. We have it more as a theory. Yeah, right, God is all there is. Yes, you're God, I'm God, God is all there is. In practice, however, if we really believe that God is all there is, we would kind of be like the Dalai Lama. What Linda read in that quote from the Dalai Lama, we would recognize that everyone is just like us. Everyone just wants to be happy and have the least amount of suffering that they can have. Everyone just really wants to be happy. That's what everyone is really going for. And I would add to that, everyone wants to feel honored and respected and be treated with dignity. And everyone really wants ultimately love. Everyone wants to experience love within themselves. Everyone wants to experience love coming from outside of themselves, so to speak, from others, right? That's what we all want. We want to know that, and everything else is just part of trying to get that. So when we don't feel love, the most extreme case that I experienced was a man in prison when I did a workshop in a prison setting, and this man had never experienced love ever in his life. Literally never experienced love, didn't even have a concept of what love was. And in this workshop, it's a lot of giving love from everything we're doing is like love is just pouring in you, pouring in you, pouring in you. And this really hardened man broke down in tears broke down in tears from experiencing love for the very first time in his life. And that's, it's like, wow, where would that man have been in life had he experienced love from the beginning, right? And all he felt was love all of his life. This is what we really want. And so in this climate that we're in right now, where there's the appearance of so much division in our country, and maybe you could say in our world, we come back to this teaching of oneness, and we recognize, where am I personally going into separation? Where am I labeling people of the opposite political party to me as demons and evil, and they do this and they do that? And where can I come into oneness? Where can I recognize that every person I meet, and every person in my experience, and every person that there is a divine expression of God? Whether they be a political figure, a public figure, a political figure, that every person is an expression of God. It doesn't mean that we have to agree with behaviors and actions and policies and all of that stuff, but it means that we see that person as divine. And sometimes, like the sun on a cloudy day, right? And it seems like the sun doesn't exist that day because the clouds are obscuring the sun, and it seems like the sun has gone away. But we know, just because we understand that the sun is still there, and it's right now covered up by the clouds. So can we know when an individual is acting out in a way other than what we know to be the absolute divine truth of them, of beauty, of love, of wholeness, of harmony, of perfection? Can we know that the clouds are covering up that beauty, and not forget that the sun is still there even though the clouds are covering it up, that divine spirit in that person is still there even though the clouds may appear to be covering it up in this moment? And so just knowing that changes everything. Right? We don't have to get on the same page with the person, or we don't have to agree with their behavior. We can even strongly disagree with their behavior. But just that knowing that this is God before me here, this is the teaching of oneness. This teaching of oneness says that this person before me is God. This public figure, this person of a different party than me, this person of a different belief system than me, this person that gets on my last nerve, that this person in front of me is God in expression. And that changes everything. And the way we get there, we have to start by knowing that we are God in expression, not just in concept and in theory, because if I really know that I am the divine in expression, I know who I am, that I am a unique divine expression of God. Knowing who I am, I will know who everyone else is. So when we don't know who someone else is, the place to start is, I don't fully know who I am. I don't fully recognize that I am a divine expression of God. And so therefore, when I see things out in the world and other people that I don't like, it's those parts of myself that I can't fully accept. It's those parts of myself that I'm not okay with. I learned that early on in my time in Science of Mind, that judgment, whenever I was in judgment, I started, when I started to have more self-awareness coming into the Science of Mind teaching, I recognized that judgment, when I was in judgment, when I was in judgment, I was not in that feeling of wholeness. I was not in that feeling that I am enough and that I am whole and that I am complete and that I am a perfect divine expression of God. When I was in judgment, I was coming from my pain body. I was coming from those unhealed places in myself. I was coming from that place where I can't accept me fully. And I began to notice that each time I began to notice that whenever I was in judgment, it was like, I'm not feeling so good about myself right now. And in not feeling good about myself, I project that outward, and it becomes a judgment of someone else. So the work that we do really isn't even about trying to love that other person initially. Initially, it's about, can I love myself more? Because when I know who I am and I fully love myself and I'm living from my place of absolute wholeness, there will be no judgment of any other person. And there will be nothing but love in seeing that other person's wholeness. So this is the high calling of people like us who are in a teaching that has its central core belief to be oneness, that God is all there is. This is the high calling, is I'm going to do my inner work. I'm not going to project outward. I'm not going to get into those conversations of making someone else the scapegoat for those places where I don't feel whole, those places where I don't feel fully accepting of myself and where I'm in judgment of myself. So it's that phrase that says whenever we point the finger at someone, we have, I would say 3 fingers. Some people say 4. I would say 3. I'm looking at 3 fingers on my hand right now. 3 fingers pointing back at me. So when we realize that I'm really talking about myself right now, then it's like, don't treat yourself like that, right? Because everyone really is just a reflection of us. Everyone's just a mirror of us. So I'm really calling us today into this high calling of oneness, of practical oneness, of living oneness, where we truly see that in every other person. So let me just share a quote from Joel Goldsmith in The Art of Spiritual Healing. And he says, "What is needed is to know God aright, and you do this through contemplating truth. As you dwell in meditation upon the nature of God, very quickly you will find the nature of God is love and intelligence. The intelligent, loving nature of God is your assurance that you will have a crop of roses from the rose seedlings you have planted in the fertile ground, and not something that you do not want. In the midst of such contemplation, it will dawn, what have I to fear? There is a God, and God is love, and that ends my whole problem. If God were not love, then I would really have a problem. But the minute I know that God is love, I have no more problems. That ends them right there. So we have to know that God is love and that we are love and that everyone is essentially love. Ernest Holmes said, "We need not leave the world, for we may engage in all of its activities without being controlled by them. We may be in the world of affairs as masters of ourselves." So this is what we're really about here. We're about being in the world and mastering ourselves. How often are we really trying to master the world? How often are we really trying to master everyone else, get everyone else to behave, get everyone else to be how we want them to be, get everyone else to change, when really our work is to master ourselves? And mastering ourselves is not an end goal. It's a continuous evolution where we're in the practice and in the process of mastery, right? So our practice is our act of mastery. We're just continuously practicing this love, this unconditional love for ourselves. And can I show up? You know, the world is just the mirror that tells us, it's the indicator for us of how far along we are. So when we see that person and we go into judgment, we realize, okay, I still have some more to do in my mastery of myself. I still don't fully see myself as whole. I still don't fully see myself as a divine expression of God. And we work there. We work there. And every time we work there, and every time we work there, right? Like sometimes people will tell me when I say these things, like to be able to embrace every person as the divine, they'll say, well, that's hard. And maybe it is, I don't know. But what I do know is that it's not reserved for people like the Dalai Lama and ministers of science of mind and people who we think, well, of course you do, because you're a minister, or you're the Dalai Lama, or you're this person. But this mastery is really meant for all of us. And it really isn't so far away as we think it is. You know, the moment we have the willingness to say, you know what, I will take that level of responsibility. I will answer that level of high calling, that I want to be this agent of love in the world. You know, there's this idea of being an activist, and I wrote a blog one time about being a spiritual activist. You know, and one can be a political activist and all the other types of activists and still be at the core a spiritual activist. And being a spiritual activist means I'm taking a stand for love. I'm taking a stand for oneness. I'm taking a stand for knowing that each person is divine and deserves to be treated with love and respect and dignity. And that's what I'm going to take a stand for. That's what I'm going to be an activist for. What an excerpt from what I wrote in that blog was, what if we simply be for love? Love is our essence, our divine nature. Love has no real opposite. We can be for love without being against anyone. Hate is not the opposite of love. It is simply the masking of love. Fear is not the opposite of love. It is turning away from love. Love is the core essence of who we are and what life is, the divine nature of all things. So love is our essence, and we can never not be love. And there really is no opposite to love, because love is all consuming. Love is at the core and the essence of all that we are. And the only thing we can do is hide it, turn away from it, try to obscure it. But like the sun on a cloudy day, the love is still right there at our core. And so every person we meet is love in expression. So we get to answer this high calling, you know, what is God doing through us, or today is these topics for this month are somewhat similar. How engaged is God as us? How engaged is God as us? You know, and God is just constantly bringing those divine ideas forward through us. Those divine ideas that are ours to do. What is yours to do? What is this? What is Infinite Spirit bringing forth through you as yours to do in this world? Constantly bringing forth divine ideas through us. What is yours to do? What is yours to be? One of the things that I recognized quite a long time ago was that when divine ideas come through me, when there's an idea that comes through me that has great resonance, that has real energy, positive, expansive energy in it, that I am to follow that idea and I am to be obedient to that idea. Right? Because that idea is a divine idea, and it's kind of like if someone gave us, if we were wanting tomatoes and someone gave us a packet of tomato seeds, we would have no doubt that if we went and planted those tomato seeds in the ground, that tomatoes would come up, and we would be very happy when they gave us those tomato seeds. We're like, wow, I've really been wanting to plant some tomatoes, and we would go plant those tomato seeds and we would have a harvest. And it's the same with these divine ideas that come through us. These divine ideas that come through with great resonance and expansive energy, it's already like those tomato seeds. It's already like it's already done. You know, all we have to do now is cultivate that seed and allow it to be made manifest. So the invitation today really is to surrender into this living oneness, where we recognize every other person as a divine expression of God. We recognize ourselves as a divine expression of God, and we really answer the call that is constantly being given to us. And each of us has a high calling. It's not like some of us have a high calling and others don't. It's really just about who answers the high calling that is always coming forth. The divine ideas that are being given to us. This is yours to do right here. That resonance comes in. It comes in, whew, and it's like, here you go, this is yours. And do we say yes to that? And do we be the presence of love out there in the world? And can we see every person as divinity? Thank you so much for listening today. And let's take that within for prayer. And so I know in this moment that God is, and God is all there is. One infinite spirit, one infinite presence, one infinite power, one infinite intelligence. that all of life is one, that I am a divine expression of that one, that each of us are unique ways that that divine is expressing. And so in this consciousness of oneness, I speak this word right now and declare and know that we are answering that high calling, that we are feeling into our being today and being aware that the presence of God is my very life and being. And then from there, in knowing who we are knowing who every other person we encounter is, whether public, private, family, community. We are seeing so clearly that everywhere we look, there is God, and that there is only God, that there is nothing else that we're seeing or experiencing. And so we are now living in that blissful place, that blissful truth, that I am immersed in a sea of God, and I am a sea of God. And so from there, we live our life from this lofty place of being able to see as God sees, to see as the infinite sees, to embrace every person we meet, every person we see, every person we hear, we embrace, we see, we know, there too is God. And so I just give thanks for this awareness, for this truth, and for the amazing ways that we in Columbus Center for Spiritual Living are expressing this truth of oneness. In gratitude, I let this be, I release this word. Together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much, and we'll hear from Gabrielle Solange again.
Thank you. I'm actually going to change the song because the message made me think of a different song. So, one moment. So I'm going to sing You Say by Lauren Daigle. I'm sure a lot of you know that song, but it just made me think of like remembering that what the divine or God says about us, rather than what the world may cause us or our circumstances may cause us to think, and just to remind us of our higher selves and rise to that. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Just a song, but it will be hiding every love. Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Oh, you say I am love when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am found and sure. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say. can I have in my way at your feet? You have every failure, God, you have every victory. How can you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing? And you say I am strong, oh, when I say I am weak. I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, when you say I am yours. I believe, oh, I believe. Oh, what you say to me, I believe, and I believe, oh, I believe, what you say to me. Thank you, guys. I hope that blessed you.
Thank you, Gabrielle Solange. That was beautiful. Thank you for your very heartfelt, beautiful song and singing. And thank you for being so present and surrendered that you were able to shift in the moment and come forth with the song that was moving in you and felt right for us. So thank you so much for being with us today. And it is now time for the giving of our gifts. And so thank you for the ways that each of you continue to support our center during these times. And thank you all who have sent your pledge cards in, and thank you for those that are still coming in. It's really helpful to the center, to the board, to plan and to know that we can count on you for 2021. And we are honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually during these times. And we appreciate all of your gifts, and your donations really help us fulfill our vision statement in helping to create a world that works for everyone. And so as we engage the law of circulation, we remember that God is our source, and we are circulating Spirit's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. And so please say this affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
When I open my heart, when I feel it go, when I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow. When I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it go, when I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow. Light me up, fill me up, open up. Light me up, fill me up, open up. When I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it glow, open my heart. I am the place where love flows, and it flows.
Oh, thank you, Carissa. I love letting the love flow. And as I let that love flow, I am reminded of the most amazing prayer that the Prosperity Corps sent out to the practitioners. And I'd like to share that as I bless our offering today. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And that life is the life of each person in the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living community. In the consciousness of oneness with and as the infinite, I speak this word. I know and declare that abundance is the truth of my life and the truth of the life of our spiritual community. I draw from the unlimited source within me. I move with life, continuing to take the divinely guided steps that lead me into greater prosperity. Whatever I need to know, divine clarity is revealed. Whatever I need to do, I am moved into right action. I am in the flow of infinite prosperity. I see, feel, and experience my needs being met every step of the way, and the needs of CCSL being met every step of the way. I'm so grateful to live in an infinitely abundant universe. I am so grateful that spirit within me is my unlimited source. I'm so grateful that my needs and the needs of the Columbus Center for Spiritual Community are constantly being fulfilled. In gratitude, I release this word to the one law that always says yes. Knowing it is done, I let it be, and together we sing.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. So let us thank our practitioners, Margie Sammons for meditation, Ann Strayer doing a great job on the platform. Let us also thank Linda Coate for the reading today, and our featured soloist, Gabrielle Solange, and our song leader, Carissa Holmes, who brings so much to our center, along with our center trio, Tony Bernardi on piano, Joe Nelson on drums, Steve Parakis on bass. And boy, they're such a treasure for our community here. And I really give great thanks to all that they bring. When I was there in person for that parking lot service, what a joy that was to be in that energy of that beautiful music team and what they bring to us. So Carissa, Tony, Joe, and Steve all collaborate their musical talents to bring us this music that we heard today. And so I thank all of you also who are with us today in our service. I also want to, if you're joining us for the very first time, I want to thank you as well. Thank you for joining us today. And we would love to send you a welcome packet in the mail with information about us, and you can contact our office or send us a private Facebook message. And if you're already part of the community, but you're not receiving the information about our services, please call Robin in the office as well, or send us a private Facebook message. And now let us say this blessing together. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is.
Go in peace, live in love. May the Spirit bless you with all your heart dreams of. Go in peace, live in love. May the Spirit bless you, my friend. Go in peace, It's true. Whoa, whoa, true. All through your life, every day, make a way for your heart to open the door for you. Go with peace, live in life. May the Spirit bless you with all your heart dreams of. Go with peace, live in life. May the Spirit bless you, my friend. Go with peace, live in love, live in love. May the Spirit bless you. Go with peace, live in love, live in love. May the Spirit bless you, Spirit bless you, Spirit just bless you, my friend.
Peace, blessings. Have a beautiful week.